You are a little bit of an unusual type of high performer because you're like, no more. I'm okay here.
That's
I
so
haven't.
true. Yeah.
Typically, people push themselves to perform better, especially when they can, when they have a momentum. But what you're reflecting to me is that you know your priorities.
Yeah. It's actually a common thread in my childhood that my teachers would always complain that I was a really smart student, but I would prefer to study 10, 15 minutes and get a B or a second best grade instead of studying for 2 hours and getting an A or an A+. And I think that was a common thread in my life. What was funny for me is my parents would then come home and say, that's so funny. Every teacher tells us this. You keep doing it. You don't need to change. It's just funny that everyone brings it up. And that was a common thread in my childhood and probably also a common thread now, that I do love doing well and improving myself, and I'm always continuously learning. I'm someone that really enjoys learning, but I do not think that I need to get the last 10% and pay like 90% of the cost for it. So I'm quite happy being, I'm not sure whether that like reflects badly or anything, but I'm quite happy with getting the 90% for 10% of the effort. And then those other 10% are those that kind of come with the cost. Those are the things that come with cost to your health, to your mental health, to physical health, and then probably also just plain old longevity. The pushing the last 10% are what breaks you and makes you not want to continue or give up, basically. And so following this principle, again, we were talking about it before, leads me to being able to do this for a long time, not to build something that's a short burst. It leads me to having a marathon and not a sprint. And I much prefer this pace. At some point in my life, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe I'm inclined to, with whatever's next, to do a sprint. And I think that's in itself also exciting, to do a short burst of energy and do something like this. But especially a business like mine, where it's about people's future, where it's about people relying on it and wanting to build something of substance, I think it's much more important that I build something that can sustain and that can be around for a long time in a sustainable way, rather than something that grows fast and potentially implodes at some point.
The way you're talking, you make me feel like you are treating your time and your energy like a stockbroker, literally creating a portfolio. It's very logical. It's not so emotional. It's like I have certain emotions, I have certain energy. I must make use of them in the most efficient way, so that I do that for a long time, so that I win more than someone that sprints and burns out quickly.
Mm.
It sounds quite logical. Is it like that in your mind? The processing?
I think that's a good way to describe it. I think it's also just a great way to run not only your business, but probably your life to some degree. Because the beautiful thing about being an investor or a venture capitalist or something is that you're able to experience a lot of things in a very sustainable manner. It's all about like balancing risk and, you know, being able to get a gain from it. And I think that's why people go into VC or investing, is because you're able to get a lot of the upside while managing the downside. And comparing to that, building a company feels quite reckless, right? It's almost not investing, it's more like a poker game where you're going all in and you're just trying to get as much outcome as possible. Again, I don't think that's like a wrong way of doing things, but if I had to choose between being a professional stockbroker or trader and being a professional poker player, I'd rather be on Wall Street managing my risk and you know, doing something like this rather than going all in Las Vegas, basically.